They're the big don't argue. Get off me, he says. Clear the tarmac. It's takeoff time.
Media Vintage Sports Network presents Play-by-Play Podcast with Jordan Hughes. Alrighty, welcome in to Play-by-Play Rugby. Back for another bumper show coming your way. Jordan Hughes with you, and once again, the team is back together. Tyler Campbell, Rian Stowers. Firstly, got to have you back with us. How's your face, mate? You right?
Yeah, it was a long recovery, but I'm back. And I wasted no time. First meal that I got.
Yeah, what'd you get? What was it? First meal?
Went straight to the Golden Arches.
There we go.
Quarter pounder with mayo.
Barbecue, bacon Angus, double patty, mayo.
I love that.
And I've developed a bit of a chocolate milk addiction because it was lots of my nutrients during my no eating.
Yeah, right. Well, we missed you last week, so it's great to have you back once again. A couple of plugs from the boys to get us going. Tyler?
Yeah, obviously, guys, if you've been following along or you're watching the clips, join us on TikTok and Instagram. You know, we're building a bit of a following here, climbing up the ranks, so good to have your guys' support.
Yeah, and if you aren't able to follow on that, Apple Podcasts, Play-by-Play, tune in every week for a bit of banter.
Heck is that? Hear these two. Look at that, cutting promos, boys. Love that. There we go. All right, let's get into it. A massive weekend. Super Rugby round 8 in the books, boys. Start with you, Rian. What was your moment of the week?
Moment of the week. Yeah, it's so bad, but it's the Hurricanes again.
Something different.
Something different?
No, we're a passionate fan, mate.
No, that's fair.
Yeah. It was a very good game after the Waratahs Crusaders.
I thought that was a banger of a match too.
Yeah. I was thinking that Hurricanes and Chiefs was going to be the game of the match, but the Waratahs and Crusaders was a massive game, but then still Hurricanes Chiefs ended up being a good game as well.
Were you a bit worried at the end there? And the Chiefs, they got that lead, and then you guys just poured 2 back-to-back tries, I think, in the end.
Yeah, I think at the start of the game it looked a bit concerning because the offloads weren't sticking, but then you saw in those last couple tries, like it was just offload after offload after offload, and we were just finding space.
It's unbeaten, aren't you, the Canes?
We sure are.
Peaked early.
How good. What was your moment, Tyler?
Obviously, we touched on it. The Waratahs Crusaders game.
Yep.
Obviously, a high-scoring affair. Probably wasn't as much defense as you'd like to see in a game of rugby, but to go to Golden Point and sort of, it was one of those games where they just kept trading leads. It wasn't like one team got in front, the other team came back. It was just constant 80 minutes of, try for try stuff, and it was an exciting game to watch, and the Tars came to play, and they've actually become a bit of a bogey side for the Satyrs. Like, they've won a few games over the last few years, but big one for me is Will Harrison, the 10 that came on. Obviously, he was highly touted when he was young, had a few injuries, fell out of favour. For him to come on and kick the penalty and kick the drop goal, that's a great sort of return to rugby for him and a confidence booster because he's got a lot of talent. He probably just hasn't been able to display it as much as he liked, and he's had a lot of pressure on him. So to see him go out and do that, I thought was outstanding.
I think it was like 707 days. He played a few weeks ago, but since he played Super Rugby, and then and to do it the 2014, 10 years to the day that the Crusaders, all the old boys they're watching, it was massive. And that conversion, then the field goal as well, it's pretty cool.
I wonder where he fits in. Do you reckon he ends up at fullback?
I reckon he could end up pushing Tane Edmed out.
Yeah, that's what I reckon.
I don't think he's the way he came on and controlled that game with some of his kicks and some other things. Like, he showed a bit of class for someone that's been out of the game for so long.
Yeah,
like to have that steady head and direct his team in, crucial moments, because you thought that game was probably done when the Satyrs scored that last try to go up. They obviously muffed the kickoff. Tars come in and he didn't panic. He just kept them in their systems until they got that penalty where McNichol put his hand out, and that wasn't an easy penalty by any means.
No way. Yeah.
Was it like 40 out and a little bit on the angle?
Yeah.
And just slots it down the middle and then gets the drop goals. And in extra time too, some of his place kicking to keep the Crusaders in their half so they could keep the pressure on. And then they win that line out and he gets a shot and he takes it.
Yeah, it's good for Australian rugby too to see that. For me was the Melbourne Rebels and Derby Lancaster in particular. 3 tries. Obviously, everyone spoke about him all week, but his carved up. I think he did was unreal. He won that game for them. You boys, do you ever cross paths with him a little bit?
Nah, I haven't crossed paths with him at all, but I feel like that sevens pathway into Super Rugby, like the players already come into Super Rugby with a lot of confidence. Like you see people that come out of clubland into Super Rugby and it takes them a little while to start up. But I feel like that pathway from Oz Sevens into Super Rugby, they kind of find their feet straight away, and you saw it on the weekend. He was unreal.
And he's a big body too. Like, he's not a small little sevens guy. He's big and powerful.
Yeah.
So
I think it's real position specific.
Yeah.
Obviously, they come in as wingers.
Yeah.
Because obviously they're quick, like Toole, Lancaster, Lockie Anderson, Joe Pincus did it a couple of years ago. And the thing is, they've been training in a professional environment. They're fit, they're strong. They've played against world-class players, so that transition to the wing's quite easy. I'd be interested to see how one would come in and play 10 or come in and play in the loose forwards a little bit.
Yeah.
Because obviously the physicality would change a bit in the loose forwards compared to sevens. But, you know, they've had some good players coming through, and he's probably put himself up to be a bit of a Wallabies bolter now, which obviously sucks for an Aussie team that's probably going for a gold medal that would like to call him in.
yeah.
But if he gets a shot at that Wallabies jersey, I wouldn't be surprised.
Might end up having Toole and Lancaster on either wing at one stage. It'd be right. Got some wheels about him, finally.
Yeah. I don't know if
Pretty
you would
quick.
do that, though, would you?
No.
Nah, I think you need to have one of them. And
a
if he
bit
keeps
bigger.
playing like that, I wouldn't be surprised if they favoured him over Toole just because of a bit of bigger body.
Yeah, very interesting. Disappointment of the week. I'm sure there's one we all thinking of, but what was yours, Ryan?
Disappointment. Oh, the Crusaders.
No, you were gutted. You wanted the Tars to lose.
I wasn't gutted, but I just didn't think that
Yeah.
the Crusaders would lose.
Yeah, they were poor
Yeah.
again.
They just didn't show up. Well, not they didn't show up.
Just
They're
their
just,
defense is just like
Yeah.
on attack. They didn't look too bad.
They're leaking a lot of points.
Yeah, it's just not like the Crusaders we know.
like no, yeah, they're known for being very good defensively. You make a mistake, they capitalise. Probably the only two players in that Saders team for me that really put their hand up was Sevu and Ethan Blackadder in his sort of first return to Super Rugby.
Yep.
Those two are outstanding. But my biggest disappointment would still be the Reds.
Yeah, jeez.
That was
You
a-
sort of mentioned it last week on the potty, like it was definitely a danger game for them. I didn't think they were going to lose, but yeah.
Yeah, because it was a bit of a weird one because I didn't know how it was going to go in Northland. Like Moana playing in Northland, predominantly there's not as many islanders up there. There's a lot of sort of your Māori population,
Okay.
a lot of sort of immigrants, but there's not as many sort of islanders to throw that support. Like there was still a decent crowd, so I thought it wasn't going to be that big of a atmosphere for them. And sometimes those games are hard to get up for.
Yeah.
And I just felt like the Reds were on the back foot. The Moana wingers, both of them, were outstanding at getting them over the gain line and making those little half breaks. But Reds just, I don't know where across the field they actually won. Like I feel like they lost like across the field, and their scrum was dominated until we saw Nongzi and stuff come on, which I'm surprised he's not in the team this week.
Yeah.
Then they got their scrum right, but then they just had brain fades. It's like they were under the pump so much. You saw Tate's one, like that was.
Yeah. That's you never done that sort
yeah,
of
but
stuff.
like those sort of games, like those disciplinary games, it's so hard to say because you put yourself on the back foot as soon as you lose a player, and they ended up losing two of their key players.
Two of their best.
Yeah, but honestly, before that, I didn't think Tate was doing a lot anyway.
Yeah.
I don't think.
He was off his game for sure.
One
I
thing
feel like
for
this
me-
year he's getting like gassed up for stuff that he's not even really contributing to. Like he just slows down their phase play so much and looking for opportunities to dart, and he gets caught as well, and then they're on the back foot straight away.
Yeah.
One for me that was frustrating me in that first half he was doing was he was trying to milk penalties of guys on the other side of the ruck. And I know some refs blow it, but that ref wasn't blowing it. He just needed to get in there and clear the ball.
Yeah.
But there was like 4 or 5, and he's going, no, you're milking it. Like the ref keeps saying it.
Yeah.
And it really stagnated the Reds' attack
They
a
flow
bit.
a bit, yeah.
And I think that red card couldn't have come at a worse time because I actually think Flukie gets that try, gets awarded. I think that breaks the game open for the Reds. Like they scored just after half.
Yeah.
We're about to score again. And then that probably puts them on, oh, here we go again. Like it puts that doubt in their head. But then they get that red card and they get their momentum back up. And having played a lot of Islanders, you'll be the same. Once they get their momentum going, they are so hard to stop no matter who it
Yeah,
is.
definitely. Is Flukie injured this week?
Yeah, he did his shoulder in
Yeah,
that
you could
last
see
one.
in that last, like the
I wonder
fella
if that's
runs.
One of the same one he did last year. Hope not.
Yeah, he's done it a few
think
times.
so,
He's done
yeah.
both.
Concerning, eh?
I
Fuck.
think this year as well, he's looked a bit ginger when he goes in for like after tackles and stuff. But yeah, that one at the end of the game, like
Didn't look good.
he just could not even grab onto the fella.
Not good. Before we move on from round 8, I want to give your thoughts on Golden Point as a whole. We've heard a lot of positive, negatives about it. Do you guys personally like it at Super Rugby now?
Yeah, I like it because I hated it when the game would finish in a draw and that was it.
Yeah.
Like you want to see someone win, or you want to give them the chance to win. And if they still can't break that tie in extra time, then
So you're happy with the golden point rule, not necessarily, extra time when they played the 5 minutes, that it ends a draw, or you like the golden point, next point wins?
I'd probably like the extra time a little bit better. But with rugby union, like, if you're given a long period of time, sometimes you can not realise how fast time's going by, and then by the end of it, you end up just playing for territory, and then nothing happens as well. I feel like with the golden point, it forces you to take your points when they're given.
I definitely think throughout the season, golden point's fine, and then come finals, extra time, and then golden point.
Yeah.
Like, I do understand that if we keep having extra time, we've had a couple that have gone there this year already. You've had the Reds game against the Hurricanes, you had the Fiji Tars, and then you've had the Tars Crusaders. And I just think, Regan's right, the golden point just puts you on the edge of your seat a bit because you're waiting for the next team to score.
Yeah.
And you also have to be so clinical, and, it makes it a little bit more exciting to watch. But then come finals, obviously it's a bit different because you want that 10 minutes. And as a fan, you're probably happy to watch that 10 minutes a bit more in finals than you are during pool play. And you look at I'm going to go to League, Warriors, Seagulls, 2 halves of golden point on the weekend, no one wins. You're probably okay there, that's a draw.
Yeah.
Like, that's fine. And I think if the same thing happened on the weekend, we'd have the same sort of mindset around it. No one wants to see a draw.
No.
But if you play an extra 10 and it's still a draw, you play golden point, it's still a draw, you're like, fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason I asked is because I've heard a lot of chat this week about people saying they don't like it, but I reckon from a rugby point of view, we need these entertaining, exciting headlines. Like golden point's exciting for the game, so I think it's a good thing. Personally.
Like, how good is, and I hate going back to these guys, but how good is the NFL with their extra time? It's not quite golden point anymore. It's a little bit different. It's like, you go, I get a reply, like blah, blah, blah. But that's exciting to watch. Like, even the defense, if you're supporting the team on D, you're talking to the guy, get your corner, mark your man, like all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And it just makes it exciting to watch. And I just think we need that in our game to keep bringing viewers in.
Well, imagine being in the ground on Saturday night and the Warriors kick that field goal. You're up on your feet. Like, that's heart-racing stuff.
Yeah.
And I think the game needs that. So, anyway, we'll see how that plays out. All right, let's get into our club rugby recap because you boys had the bye on the weekend. But some big results. Obviously, Sunnybank pushed West all the way. You guys got them this week. South were dominant over GBS. I called that game. They're looking pretty good, old South. UQ over North, and then Brothers put on fucking 50 over East. Any key takeaways from the weekend?
Brothers one's probably more shocking when you realise I think they were 1 from 10 from the boot.
Oh, true, yeah.
Like, they didn't, I think maybe 2 at best. They scored 10 tries.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, like, I've watched the 20-minute package, which is great.
Yeah, love that.
Get a quick review in before we're moving forward, but sort of watched that and I was going, they can't get a kick to save themselves, which could be trouble later on, but obviously they get Lawson and stuff back for like renowned goal kickers. So, yeah, East look like they're in a little bit of trouble, but East is still going to be East. They've got players coming back like Andrew Reddy, once he's done from overseas and stuff. So they're still going to be strong. They're probably just finding their feet a little bit under a new coach, much like us, like we were in round 1.
Yeah.
And, South's obviously looking like the team probably to beat at the moment outside of Brothers.
Recruited well.
In positions they needed.
Yeah, I agree.
Be interesting to see how they keep going moving forward. I'm not sure who they've got.
Well, yes,
week.
I've got that game, Brothers South this weekend.
Yeah, so this
So that
is
would be the
true
game
test.
of the round, you reckon?
Which would be a good one.
Bond
yeah.
West, mate.
Yeah, besides your one. Your game
that's going to be a
Your game
blowout.
actually is the game. I think yours is the game of the round, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Anyway, and then the Sunnybank, they just sort of put a lot of pressure on that set piece forwards for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Seth obviously made a massive difference.
Yeah.
Like, we saw Ponne on the other side for West, but
Apparently destroyed him.
Seth was just going through him. Like, and that's probably why Seth deserves his call up to the Reds this week. You know, if you play well in club, you do deserve a call up probably to that Super, and that's probably what he's done. But Sunnybank just sort of stuck with it. I think they were down 19-0 early, scored, stayed in the game. They missed a penalty to make it 19-10, but then they scored, I think, first after half-time, and they just sort of ticked away. And, I would have loved to have seen them catch that last kickoff and have a chance to go down the field and kick a penalty or at least score a try.
Yeah.
But obviously it didn't work out like that. But, yeah, it was good to watch, and I think Sunnybank are improving. I think a lot of people were shocked when they got us in round 1, but I think they're a lot better of a side than everyone anticipated coming into this year.
And then for you guys this week against the Bulldogs, grand finals last year, big game this week. How are you guys looking? How's it all going?
Yeah, it's obviously building every session. It's been a big 2 weeks, and Hino's got into us around a few things. I won't leak too much, and keep moving forward. And it's another big game. We've had some good clashes with these guys over the last couple of years. Last year in particular, I think we split 1-1 in the season, and then they got us in that sort of major semi or whatever it's called. And So we're obviously looking to bounce back. We had a good sort of preseason game against each other, and there's things we need to work on, and hopefully we can. And they're going to be a strong side because the Rebels have a bye this week, so they get a lot of their players back to their club. And this is not me having a stab, but I know a lot of people complain about the Rebels boys going there, but people seem to sort of forget sometimes that a lot of those boys played 20s and actually played a lot of their club rugby.
They played junior footy there.
And I think it's good for club rugby as well. If you're not playing at higher honours, send them bring them back into Queensland comp, and it attracts people.
And we'd rather have these guys in our Queensland comp than Sydney. It's better for our brand.
I agree.
Anyway.
I'd love to see Josh Cannon running out for us this weekend.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, big Joshy.
Maybe he is, maybe he isn't.
Mate, he's a Wallaby bolter, side note. For sure he gets credit.
Definitely
he's
a
been
Wallaby
unreal.
bolter.
I don't think we'll see him this year.
You don't reckon? Fuck, he's been impressive,
I don't think so.
And I honestly don't know if we'll see Matt Gibbon.
With Bond.
With Bond.
Oh, okay. So,
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think we'll see. We'll be lucky to see those two with Bell out. Gibbo's probably in that framework to be the loose head. And then obviously Cannon's playing so good at the moment. Rebels are in that top 4. They probably look at taking Joshy Cannon in the Wallaby squad.
Yes. Anyway, so if you're on the Gold Coast on Saturday afternoon, catch these boys 3 p.m. Bond versus the Bulldogs. So that'll be a good one. We'll touch on the Super W boys quickly. Semi-finals this weekend: the Drua versus the Force, the Tars versus the Brumbies. The Reds did push the Tars last week. Also, we saw a few of our Bond girls in there doing a good job. Did you just think the Tars still too good at this stage?
They're just too stacked.
Yeah.
They've taken the best Reds player from last year.
Yep.
They've obviously got a lot of their core squad that they've kept on board and haven't lost a league. So, I just can't see them losing. Probably not to the Brumbies. The only team I think that can do it and did it last year was the Drua. Because they're just that team, once they get going, they're hard to stop. And that's both men's and men's and women's.
Still, I don't really see it happening.
No, neither do I this year.
Like you said, they are too stacked. I think it's hard when you have a competition and the base of the competition is in Sydney, and then everyone wants to go to Sydney because the higher honours are all being held down there. So I think that sort of does play a part in it.
They all become friends in the Wallaroos, and they
Come
all want to play together.
Come play with the Tars, yeah.
And that happens. That's part of rugby.
Footy.
I don't know what the contracts are like, if there's a difference between the Tars and the Reds in terms of financial
money. Well, I know the big money is coming from the Rebels. The Force is offering the most money. Well, Twiggy Forest, some of those girls are getting big dollars. Not going to say it, but big money. Well, big money.
You know money.
I know money. I don't know.
The Twiggy Mining Group's paying.
Yeah, I know. So we'll work out the Force in the semis this weekend. So we'll see how they go. That final actually is at Ballymore too.
The grand final.
Yeah.
Regardless of what happens.
Yeah. Which is, I don't know, but anyway. So
How was my pick as well at the start of
Shalom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How good has she been?
Yeah, beast.
And it sucked to see her not play in that final game because she had a school carnival or something.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen it because I think she would have given them another punch.
Yeah.
And possibly, so they needed to win that to make
She's next
I think
level.
that's still gone. But
She's going to be a great.
But the only thing I worry about, she's playing a lot of footy. She's 16, playing league. Every com under the sun, she's playing. I'm like,
Built diff, bruh.
She's young.
Facts.
Young.
Yeah,
She'll be fine.
Yeah, true. Alrighty, so that's on Friday afternoon, the Drew and the Force, and then, double header actually, the Friday night as well, Tars Brumbies for the Super W. Bit of news headlines, boys. We spoke about it briefly. McDermott, McWright, 3 weeks suspension. We don't even touch on too much, but they're in some strife there.
It's a bit confusing how these suspensions work.
Yeah.
For me, Fraser's was an accident.
Yeah.
Tate's was probably a little bit more malicious.
A little bit of a get back.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand it. They get 3 weeks. Oh, mate, from the Drew, I got 2 weeks for a headbutt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know
that's
he didn't connect
rogue.
that clean. I just don't get suspensions at the moment, how they're balancing things off for these weeks. And I understand.
You said, with intent, bro, if that headbutt lands, bro, that could be a fractured nose.
It could split his whole fucking
he
forehead.
threw his head at him. I think that's just outrageous.
Yeah.
Malicious intent with a thing that's not a rugby move should probably be, should be harder jurisdiction. I can't even pronounce it, but harder rules on that. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Harder rules on that compared to a Fraser McWright who, honestly, I thought was looking like he was trying to actually go in and grab the guy to pull him down because he thought the tackle was going to be made.
Yeah.
And his shoulder made contact because I don't think he launched into that.
No, it didn't look like it.
So you reckon Tate should have been worse?
I
and Fraser should have been less? Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Or?
I do think that.
I don't think Tate worse, but I think Fraser less. I
Yeah.
feel like 3 weeks for a swinging arm is pretty fair.
Yeah.
And they're falling to the ground.
It looked like he was fucking a bit of in there.
Yeah, but like you slow anything down and it can look like that.
True.
Like he was probably just trying to get at the ball or something, but
I
it
don't
just
know.
looks bad.
He copped one in the face, and it looked like a bit of a
Yeah, he was a
retaliation.
bit angry, a little halfbacks. And then, boys, Leicester signed Geordie Barrett on a short-term deal starting December, but he's with New Zealand, the Hurricanes, till 2028. That's a big get for the All Blacks.
Yeah.
I think New Zealand rugby is going to start doing more of this.
Yeah.
Reason being, we can't compete with the money over there.
Yeah.
We don't have the fans coming in at the moment, and I think because we don't want to change our laws around players that are overseas being picked.
Yeah.
That they're going to have to let players go on these 6 months. Like you're seeing Artie's doing it right now.
It's smart. It's
Bodie Barrett's doing it, and it's probably the best thing to do because we want to keep these guys playing for the All Blacks and bring them back in, but we've got to let them go make money too because it's a short career.
Yeah, go get your cash, but come back.
Otherwise, we get a Charles Piatel situation again. He leaves just before the 2015 World Cup. They sort of ended 2014, and he was looking like he was going to be the starting wing in prime position, but he wanted to go make money so his family could be better off, and respect that, and you've got to go and do that because as I said, you've got a short career or one injury away from the end of your career.
Yeah.
So it's good to see New Zealand rugby's allowing players to do that.
And they still grow over there. Like the quality of competition is
Come
so
back a better
good.
player.
Yeah, like Piatel, he left. Arguably, maybe pushing for starting winger spot, but then he's over there. He's probably one of the best fullbacks in the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And look, even on a short term, like Noah Loasia, go play for Toulon for that 6 months period, less than that, and he comes back and he's a better player.
Yeah,
this
looks
year.
more mature. Yeah,
For sure. And then that was the big one. Joey Manu signed with the Toyota Blitz over in Japan, linking out with Aaron Smith as well. I think Scott Foster's there, I think, maybe the coach, and Steve Hansen's director of rugby. So they're all big dogs are there.
Yeah.
A $1 million plus multiple year deal. Thoughts?
good for him.
Good on him, and
Yeah.
obviously he probably didn't want to play for another NRL club, and the Roosters probably couldn't have offered him that money and keep their core group together. And
Yeah.
he's a took it all boy, so he's probably grew up playing a lot of union as well, so probably wants to give it a go. And I don't know where his best position's going to be, whether it's going to be fullback or 13.
Yeah, I can 13.
Only 13.
I'm thinking more 13, like a rangy sort of centre, if he can let the ball go a bit more.
Yeah,
But interesting thing for me, as I said in the chat the other day, was if he wants to play for the All Blacks, he also have to move back to NZ, and he's not going to get that money in NZ.
No.
So I'm pretty sure he would have accumulated 10 years of living here. Does he put his hand up to play for the Wallabies? Because he's not eligible for SAR or Tonga. He's a Māori Cook Island.
yeah.
So will he put his hand up to if he wants to play at a World Cup or British and Irish Lions?
Interesting.
There's some opportunities there for him with the ghetto law being scrapped to come back and play for the Wallabies.
Like I said, the news came out today. So Rugby Pass posted that news about the Giddy law being scrapped, and then and they've taken it down because apparently it was a miscommunication. It's not actually confirmed yet.
Oh, never believe the Australian rugby
But yeah,
media.
I reckon it's going to get scrapped.
Yeah,
I think it needs to be scrapped.
Yeah, for sure.
And it sucks to say that the talent's going to leave and we're trying to build, but there's players now that are going overseas because we can't pay them enough, or Aussie Rugby can't pay them enough, and you could make a stronger Wallabies side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Will Skelton, BPA's back, Brandon Pangaramosa.
Yeah.
Was obviously the first choice hooker before he left. Who else is the one that's gone overseas recently?
Obviously Richie, Rory. they're
Tom
over there.
Banks.
Yeah.
We've been talking about fullback, and he had a couple of years there and probably didn't get to develop in that position, and then he took off. So
Yeah, there's plenty of options there. So yeah, looking to see how Joey Manu goes. I can see Aaron Smith and that combination will be pretty filthy, those two.
if he's running a line off that
yeah,
bullet,
imagine that.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
love that. These poor Japanese players trying to...
yeah, I know.
Good luck.
But it's funny, like watching that league, and then you're like, import, and they're just carving it up.
Well, imagine, sorry to cut you off, but imagine this team made the Club World Cup challenge, and you see Joey Manu playing against the Crusaders. Like, that's fucking sick.
their hardest thing's obviously the physicality they've got to match up to because they have some high scoring games.
Yeah.
I've seen one that was like 65,
Yeah,
55.
take the over every
Yeah.
time.
Always take the overs on points. But if they can sort of get that right and get their defence a bit better, they're going to be a tough team to beat because they've got so much money in Japan.
Yeah.
They're going to do a world challenge. We've already seen Panasonic, how good they were.
Yeah.
They play the Chiefs
Uh,
or Blues. I can't remember who they
yeah,
played.
play one of each other.
It wasn't the Blues. The Blues were
I'm
on
pretty sure it was
fire
the
in
Chiefs.
preseason.
Yeah. And you're like, well, like imagine if
Yeah.
we sort of had that in this World Cup challenge in 28.
Very exciting. Alrighty, so let's get into a few weeks ago. We talked about our All Blacks back line. Now we're going to get three backs talking about our All Blacks forward pack.
Back us here.
Yeah, how good. So we'll start with the front row, boys. I guess for me, I was leaning towards Ethan de Groot in the one. He's the incumbent. George Bower's there as well. What do you guys think for up front?
Ethan de Groot's probably our top option. I'm looking at Xavier Numia off the bench.
Okay, yeah.
The Hurricanes loose head, he's great around the field.
Agile
will bring a bit of punch, and he's scrumming outstanding at the moment. So for me, those are my two sort of loose heads, and then obviously George Bower's probably looking at that third spot. But Crusaders haven't been playing well, so do they look at a Ollie Norris or a Aiden Ross?
Some fresh blood, yeah.
Who's the Blues one at the moment? I can't even think who it is.
Is old mate still there? What's his name? The Blues bloke.
Nipple.
No, Nipple's gone. Offer.
Yeah, Offer.
Is he still around? Yeah, Offer's obviously the other one too. And he's one that probably comes into the squad because he covers both loose and tight head.
And then Tyrell Lomax, he's the incumbent as well on the three.
I reckon Tyrell,
Yeah, he's been great.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Oh, this is going to just show my bias here.
Backup will be interesting.
Yeah.
Obviously, Fletcher Newell's probably the incumbent backup. But as I said, the Crusaders have been struggling, so it's so hard to warrant picking too many Crusaders in the squad.
No. Well, on form, the Hurricanes, Blues, those guys should get an opportunity.
Yeah.
Who you got for hooker?
Sophomore Moore.
I had him as well. Because what's Cody Taylor doing? Is he?
He's back soon.
Okay.
He's just on a little bit of a rest break.
He'll be in when he's...
He'll be in.
He'll be first choice, yeah.
For me, it's Sonny Takiaho.
Okay, yeah.
Sole reason being him and a sophomore.
The Canes and the
Yeah.
Chiefs.
Hey, I've picked.
I know, I understand. It's all good.
No, reason for being his throwing's better.
Yeah.
At test level, you can't make mistakes at line out time.
Yeah.
All Blacks built their World Cup off their line out being at 98%. They'd lost one line out going into the final or something, or going into the semi. So for me, his throwing, while it can be sketchy, is still a lot better than a sophomore Moore's. But if he gets his throwing right or keeps this sort of throwing form he's got at the moment, definitely deserves a shot because he's so dynamic around the park and offers something most hookers don't in terms of that power runner and power play. But it's just his throwing's got to keep improving for him to take that next step.
Second row, I had Tua Pilotu and Scott Barrett.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Any young bucks coming through?
I definitely got Scott Barrett, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets the captaincy.
Yeah.
That would probably be my captain pick, or
That makes sense.
looking outside in.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens in the environment to pick a captain there. The second one, Paddy Toops for me hasn't been on fire.
No, it's just experiencing.
He's coming to the end. They've obviously got big raps on Josh Lord and Tupou Vaya.
Yeah.
But I think Tupou Vaya's fired up. But I don't think Josh Lord's had enough game time because he keeps picking up niggles. So we're looking a bit light in the second row, and it's probably why Razor Ray's been talking about asking to bring Sam Whitelock back.
Did he just retire?
Yeah, but
He's done, mate. He's not playing.
he should be done.
Yeah, I think he is done. From what I heard, he's had enough.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with that second row.
Then the big one, was a lot of changes for the Rugby World Cup back row in that final was for Zell, Kane, and Savia, all offshore.
Both Kane and Savia are available.
But are they coming back? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I was going off current Super Rugby vibes.
Yeah, so am I. My selection's current Super Rugby vibes.
So looking at Akira Ioane, Dalton Papali, there's Luke Jacobson, Hoskins Satutu. What sort of names are you guys
He's
thinking?
missing the big one, mate.
Who we got?
You got to go Braden Yorsi, the number 8 from the Canes at the moment.
He has been...
okay.
He's
No,
been
seriously.
Yeah,
Seriously.
yeah,
He's
sorry.
been their best player.
Yeah.
He has been the Hurricanes' best player.
How old is he? Young?
He's young.
My age.
Fuck.
Nah,
Is he your age?
Yeah,
Oh.
he was my group of 20s.
Yeah, well...
Maybe a year younger. He might be 26, 27.
Okay, so who joins him?
The thing is, I probably wouldn't start him because he hasn't played more than 50 minutes yet of Super Rugby.
Okay.
He's quite a bigger body, and I don't think his fitness is up there. But he's someone that you put in the 20 jersey that brings a massive amount of impact.
Yeah.
So he's one I think comes in as probably at the start of the year, weren't even thinking about him playing. So he's definitely our
Well, I
bolter.
didn't even know who... Like, honestly, with that first
Out of
round
nowhere.
of Super Rugby, I didn't know who so many of those Hurricanes players are. And they've all made names for themselves.
I think RD comes in. RD, if I was picking what I think they'll pick,
Yeah.
I think they'll move on from Sam Cane.
Yeah, I think they probably should.
Dalton probably gets the nod at 7, RD at 8, and then The 6 jersey is obviously the interesting one for me, with Ethan Blackadder now being back. Played pretty well on the weekend. If we start seeing more and more of that form from him, he probably gets a 6 jersey. The other one's Luke Jacobson.
Yeah, what about Jacobson? I think he's doing all the right things.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I know Lukey pretty well, and he's a great leader, and he's obviously been in that environment.
Yeah.
He probably gets overlooked at times because he's sometimes not dynamic as a ball carrier. But as a 6, I think he suits that role of just being a meathead that smacks rucks and smacks people
Just
as they
works
run.
hard,
That was the
yeah.
first time I've ever seen him get bumped off like that from Braden on the weekend. And I just think he brings that physicality that the All Blacks probably lack. But be him or Ethan Blackadder, I think, in that 6 jersey.
Anything you want to add, Reed?
No, I can't do it. I can't do it.
You got more,
Peter.
You got more
I knew. I think he'll be All Black. That Peter Lakai.
Yeah, he's got a
Lakai?
bit of time though.
Yeah, he's only 21.
Yeah, okay.
I'll give him
Fuck,
a couple of
You
years.
just get new talent coming through every week, don't you?
Bro, but
Jeez.
seriously, like watching the games that they've played, because I've watched every single game, and he has been a standout in all of the games. Peter Lakai, his ball carrying ability, his defense, and like for someone who's such a tough physical player, like no cards, which is something that you don't see often now with players.
But like, he's not naturally a 7 either. He's more of an 8. But because they're both playing so good, poor Duplessis Cariffi's been put to the bench.
Yeah,
Because you need those two on there for what they bring.
yeah.
Um,
You got depth.
and there's a good
Happy
question.
days.
I'm just thinking. So Ruben Love and him both played in the NZ20s last year.
It's
Alright.
unreal.
That's crazy.
Noah
yeah.
Hotham played in the NZ20s last year, and I think Aussie won the series sort of 2-1.
Yeah. Yeah,
But-
that was one of your poorer All Black performances last year. In that
Like,
20 side.
and there's something between then and getting them to Super Rugby level, and I don't know if it's that NPC where they grow heaps playing against men all the time, that's helped them take that jump. And
Yeah.
obviously,
What's
they
the
were-
answer to that?
They were involved in Super last year,
They're
but the 6-month turnaround both those players have had, like you'd expect that they were the best players at the Under-20s World Cup if I told you they played in it last year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You think Ruben Love would have tore it apart?
You
Yeah.
look at the Aussie team, I don't actually know who's come through other than Harry McLaughlin-Phillips.
Yeah, who was in that side?
Was Darby in it?
And he was 7s last year, wasn't
He might have played in the 20s.
Yeah. I
he? He
think
played in
might
the
have.
World Cup. Yeah, he
Yeah.
did. He did.
Yeah, but like that's what I'm sort of. These guys have become almost household names
Yeah, pretty early.
coming out of this pretty early and are playing outstanding. It's just like that development of players to take that next step, and I'm not sure what's going because we see all these guys. The Aussie team was pretty solid.
They were good last year. Yeah.
They haven't really taken that jump yet.
Well, that Rugby Championship's in a few weeks in Sunny Coast. The new Under-20s tournament. That's
I
exciting.
guess Tommy Liner played.
Yeah.
Was he the 10?
No, actually, he might not have gone because he pulled his hamstring.
Who was a 10? Oh, McLaughlin. No, he wasn't the starting 10. They came with the
McLaughlin was 15.
bench.
It was one of the Tars boys that was the 10.
Yeah, okay.
What about Teddy Wilson?
Was he the halfback?
He was in that team. Yeah.
He's pretty gun.
Who's he playing for at the moment?
He's in
Tars, he's not really getting...
Yeah.
Oh, he's on and off with it. And then that Clayton Thorne, substitute halfback for the
Who-
Brumbies.
Who's that young centre that's played for the Waratahs this year?
Walton.
No, the other one.
Tristan Riley?
No.
Harry Wilson.
Yes, he played in it. It was in that team as well.
No. He's my
Was he
age.
your age?
Yeah,
He's older.
his younger brother's Teddy.
This
Oh,
is my
fuck,
point.
I'm
We
so
don't even
confused.
know who's
Yeah,
come
yeah,
through from
yeah.
the 20s team.
Anyway, this is a pointless chat. But yeah. Anyways, that's our All Black forward pack. I think it's very exciting. So we'll move on now to Super Rugby round 9? 9, boys.
Jeez.
Our tipping last week was
Motoring through it.
It was a tough weekend. Tyler went none from 4.
Shit.
You went 1 from 4.
Yeah, Rio 1 from 4. And
were
Jordan got
terrible.
a W, 2 from 4.
It wasn't a good week. I
So
wish I backed Moana.
yeah, so every underdog won.
Not every underdog.
Yeah, they did. Moana, Rebels, Tars,
Hurricanes were the underdog.
and Canes.
Oh, well, that's a joke.
Well, anyway, could have made some cash, mate.
I
So
wish I said I thought the Moana could do it, and I wish I just.
Bro, they have improved significantly from last year.
well, I'll get into it. They're in the bloody top 8.
Oh, shit.
Which isn't hard, 12 teams. But anyway.
Yeah.
So the totals, Jordan's on 23 from 43, Tyler 27 from 43, and out in front 30 from 43 is Reen Stowers. So he's got a bit of a buffer. So we get down to crunch time.
How
So
hard
now
has
I
it
just
been
up-
to tip?
I'll just
Yeah.
start picking all those same ones. that
I
you
got
just
asked today at work
Get a
from,
dub.
from one of the random teachers. He's like, "What's going on with Super Rugby? I can't bet on it. I can't pick it right. Like,
It's hard, yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Rebels go and get blown out by 70 2 weeks in a row, and now they're in the top 4 because they've won the last few
Yeah,
games.
what the hell? I don't
I'm
know
going
that.
to-
eh?
I'm
Watching the
looking at them
game,
going,
and they were
"What the
like,
fuck?"
they're in the top 4. I was like, what the?
Well, yeah, I'll tell you right now. Super Rugby ladder right now. Canes are number 1, Blues 2, Brumbies 3, Rebels 4, Chiefs 5, Reds 6, Drua 7, Moana 8. If we spoke in January and said this would be your 8 in round 9, you would have laughed.
I mean, we called for the Rebels to go really well.
We did say that.
So they read it out again. Definitely not Moana.
Canes, Blues, Brumbies, Rebels, Chiefs, Reds, Drua, Moana.
I think everyone except for Moana is what we picked.
So come round 17, I'll pull back that first potty, our preview pod, and we'll see how we went.
Swap out Moana and Crusaders, and I'm pretty sure that'll be our top 8 that we picked.
All right. We all said the Blues to win, didn't we? Start of the year?
No, I said Chiefs.
You said Canes. I think I said Blues.
One thing I do think, though, of this comp is the top 5. There's a big separation from that top 5 to the next lot. And the Rebels have sort of pumped into that and sort of, but I think they've had a string
I
of
was just about to say,
easier games.
Yeah.
Like, I do think they
Yeah,
get
I had a look at that.
the
I had a look at the
beneficiary
draw.
of the draw at the moment, and they haven't played too many New Zealand teams other than the Highlanders. So it'd be interesting to see now how they go against the. Yeah, they got Chiefs to play. Blue. Oh, maybe they've played the Chiefs.
Yeah, it's a tough run home
Blues,
for
Hurricanes,
Yeah.
Satyrs. I guess we can't even call them a strong NZ team at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good split. So you got 3 New Zealand teams, 3 Australian teams, and Drua, Moana.
Are the Crusaders ruled out yet?
Not even close.
No, mate, still a chance.
They win like 3 of their last few games. I think they're in.
They need to make it 6 to go to the final. Like, what are we doing with 8? It's too many. Do you think?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
1 and 2 get a rest. 3 plays 6. 4 plays 5.
Yeah, whose idea was that? Anyway, Super Rugby round 9. Let's get into it. Friday afternoon, the Fijian Drua taking on the Hurricanes. The Drua $4, Hurricanes $4.22. The Lions $11.50. 8 changes to your mob, mate.
Yeah, I had a look at that team list. I don't know what's going on there. You got to rest players, All Blacks?
I think the resting's done, but I think it's good to give your squad a go. That if you need to call upon them come finals time, that you made sure you've got that depth in place.
I don't want to see that 0 change to a 1.
No.
It's a very dangerous game for them.
Especially in Fiji.
Is it in Fiji?
Yep.
Yep.
Friday afternoon, a bit different, but
Yeah.
I just think the other thing is the Drua will want to bounce back after that Rebels game. Obviously, hot heads prevailed there, and they had a few dumb sort of decisions that cost them. And I really think they're going to want to bounce back in front of their fans and keep that place being the fortress that it is. And the Canes probably, to be honest with you, probably don't care about the 0 as much as Rian does.
Yeah, definitely not.
They want to keep people fresh, and I guess keeping people back in NZ means less travel, which sort of travel can rock around your system a bit and sort of affect you moving forward. Because do they have the Blues the week after or something?
I'm sure it would get tough again.
So I wouldn't be surprised. I haven't actually looked at the draw there, but if they have a big game coming up the next week and they want to keep players fresh, because that Chiefs Hurricanes game was physical.
Yeah.
There was a lot of big hits. Sam Penny-Finau was laying people out.
Bro, I sent you a text today. I was like, bro, this guy is smoking
He was going for
everyone.
hits, but that's what I mean. Resting players and keeping
Yeah.
them fresh is probably needed, and it makes it a tough one to bet on now, or who to pick to win.
So Duplessis, Carriffy at 7. Aidan Morgan gets a crack at 10. Ruben Love off the bench. But of course, for the Drua, there's no Lamani. And Isaiah Armstrong of Villa, the 10's not there. I'm not sure what happened to him. There's a new Rabitu is at 10 and Kuravoli at 9. So
See, like, even with the 8 changes, the people coming in are people that are well known in the Super Rugby level. So
yeah,
there's still lots of experience in that team.
Still got Geordie Barrett and Billy Proctor as their midfield.
Yeah.
let's do a quick shout out before we do our picks. Ben Grant, young fella, Gold Coast boy, went to my school actually, a few grades below me. Played Colts at Bond, Western Force, then went to San Diego Legion. Now he's with the Hurricanes. He's going to make his Super Rugby debut on Saturday.
Played for Harbour and NPC last year.
Yeah, because he was a few grades below me, real tall dude.
Went to East too, don't forget that.
Yeah, he left us, went to East. But like a guy that you would never pick to play footy.
I didn't even know who this fellow is.
Yeah, it's tall, skinny dude.
Really tall.
And you put him in a professional program, gets bigger, and then look at him go. So it's
Now he's playing for the Canes. Well done, mate.
yeah, so good luck to Ben Grant on Saturday afternoon. All right, boys, let's get into our picks. Ryan, what do you got for me?
Hurricanes.
I want to know, because, like, what's the score? Are the Drew going to get within that number? 11.5. Like, do you think it could be close, or did the Canes...
I think that if the Canes win, it won't be close. I think that if Drill win, I think it'll be a close game.
Okay, so you're saying, the Hurricanes by a lot.
Yeah.
I need a catchery in here, so I'm going Fiji.
There we go.
Just at home, it's the fortress. I think Aidan Morgan's in for a big day. And I think it's the one team that the Hurricanes may struggle to bully.
Yeah, I actually think it's 1-12 either way, personally. But I will go the Canes to win the close one.
If I was betting, I'm betting on Fiji to cover the line.
Yeah, drew a plus 11.5 for sure.
But I'm picking the Fiji to win here just for the picks battle.
And then try options are like Momo and Marcy on the drawer front. And then who's your winger?
Kanina Horrell.
Yeah, him. And who's the other one? Who's the other winger?
Morby.
Nah, Morby's at the back. Rayasi's the other wing.
Rayasi, like Rayasi for a try. Lovely. All right.
He runs so high. He gets caught up every single time he runs.
Fucking get mad, mate.
Yeah, man.
All right, next game on Friday night is the Reds versus the Highlanders. The Reds are $1.36. The Highlanders $3 outsiders. The Lions 8.5. Number of red changes. John Bryant at number 7 gets a start. Louis Werchon, potential debut off the bench. Tommy Liner back at 10. And the Landers Cam Miller gets started in the fly half jersey as well.
This is huge looking at this. No Seru Uru being one of their best. No Josh Fluke being one of their best.
No McWright.
No Fraser McWright being their best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's dangerous times for the Reds.
I agree.
They've got a tough run home. They've lost 3 on the trot. They need this win. I was actually fortunate enough to run around with the Highlanders yesterday
That was my next
training with
question.
them.
How was that?
It was good.
Yeah.
Obviously a bit
Was it
different
as
coming
good
in.
as the Chiefs?
No, Chiefs for me was a bit
No, I
different.
didn't go to him.
Because I could obviously slide, knew a lot of the boys and sort of got amongst it a bit more and could ask what they were doing. It was a bit different. So,
Yeah, okay.
But the chat around the Highlanders, they were really up for this game.
Yeah.
They saw it as an opportunity to get back in the 8, knock the Reds out of the 8, and I think they're going to be up for it this weekend. And I just think that's a lot of changes to a squad. I'm a little bit thing about how Zane's been dropped. I don't understand that. Like, I thought, if anyone, it probably should be the one that's starting at tight head because I don't think he's been that great for them. But it'll be interesting to see how some of these young boys go. Cormac with his first start, John Bryant with his first start, Joe Bryle coming off the bench.
I saw something that Les Kiss had an interview and he was like, it's about giving people like minutes.
Yeah,
I think in a way he said there was a chance of young guys to like have a chance to show
Yeah,
them
I like really generalize what he said, but like that's what I heard.
you know the NBA, like a coach makes a comment and then they bring it up later?
Yeah.
If we were to do one for the Reds, he made a comment after that Chiefs game where he was like, I didn't think I'd turn them around this quickly.
Yeah.
Since then, they've been 0-3.
He fucking jinxed himself.
He jinxed himself. Like, and it happens. And, like, to be fair, at that point, you thought they're playing good footy.
Yeah, they were.
But now they're just...
I mean, like last week as well, like you can't get really too caught up on that scoreboard. They don't lose those players, they win that game.
Yeah. I do like Kalani getting a crack at 9. I like Kalani.
I think he's deserved a crack. And
Yeah.
he's one that... He played pretty well in NPC last year.
Yeah.
And, got some good experience. And I don't think he's been able to show what he can do because he just gets, like, 10 minutes here. He had a game where he came on the wing and had to play 10 minutes on the wing. And, like, he hasn't had a decent crack. So this is his chance to sort of show his worth and prove that they can put him on for the last 25 minutes of a game and he'll be dynamic. Louis Werchon's obviously one coming off the bench that hasn't had a Super Rugby cap.
Yep.
So
That's exciting for him.
that'll be exciting for him. And then Timmy Ryan's one I'd watch.
Yeah.
I think if he gets on and goes well, I think he could push for a starting wing spot.
Yeah.
He's got wheels.
He's quick. He reminds me a bit of the Corey Toole, Darby Lancaster sort of. Could be one of those wingers for the Reds.
He is.
He's one of those players that like you watch him play and you're like he's making efforts on every single play. Like he's doing his job the way it's meant to be done.
All right, boys. Picks.
I'm picking the Landers.
Same.
I know we just took it to the Reds, but they just seem to have... I haven't been in the Reds camp.
You were in the camp,
Yeah,
mate.
and they just seem real focused on this game and it had a bit of finals intensity about it. Like, we were full noise at training yesterday. I was a bit of shocked because I was there going, I didn't sign up for this.
For this, yeah. Well, Highlanders at $3. That's fucking value right there.
Mate, I had big fucking...
Get on it.
His name, Tava Nawai, run at me and I've gone, oh, fuck. I'm not making it to the West game.
Oh shit,
this
my
week."
hamstring.
Oh, I fell. He broke my ankles.
Jesus.
That was a good step. I didn't step.
But I'd put him down for a try scorer, actually.
Yeah.
I just think Matt Greeley is in for a big day trying to stop that man at full flight, let alone Tom Liner normally defends at the back, and he's going to try and come across and help too. Like, he'd be one for a try this week, I reckon.
Well, just because you guys are doing that, I'll go the Reds just to try and call something back.
And how's that going for you so far?
Well, I beat you last week, Ryan. Thank you. Yeah, so do you reckon, what do you reckon score? Do you reckon Close? Or
Yeah, I reckon it'll be close.
What's the weather like this? Who's the ref? Jordan, right now, this is important. He lets the game flow
Yeah,
a bit.
Geordie Way is good ref. I like it.
I reckon he'll be on the overs. He lets the game flow. He doesn't blow his whistle too
Yeah,
much.
plenty of points. This is like the season for both these sides in
Yeah,
this game.
it should be a cracker. I just think Highlanders have a bit more experience and more of a squad they've played with the last few weeks.
All right, Khan the Reds. Let's shut up these Kiwis next to me. All right, let's go to the Blues versus the Brumbies. A 2v3 battle. The Blues $1.17. The Brumbies $4.60. Lions 10.5. Because this is in Auckland. Tuapolotu starts. Talea's back. Bryce Heems at 12. And Lonergan returns the starting lineup as captain.
Blues.
And that's the preview.
Love seeing Cole Forbes still getting the nod at fullback.
Yep.
I think he's improved every week and he's deserved that shot there and he's been really, really good. Blues is a weird one because I don't think they've been talked about that much.
The Blues.
They've just been sort of trucking
On
along
the radar bit, yeah.
Yeah.
in the darkness. And
At the start of the season, we were all like, "Holy shit!" Like
on
those
paper.
on those even in those preseason performances that they had, they looked like they were firing. But yeah, like you said, there's just sort of been getting wins, but like nothing special.
But I think it was left a bit quiet how well and how much they decimated the force.
Was that because people just don't even give any
Was
credit?
it because it was like, that's a force?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of that because 50-3, but they played outstanding. And
When was it?
there was 2 weeks.
Oh, they had a bye
Because they had a bye last week. So I just think they've fallen under the radar. So I think the Blues get the job done here. And at home too. Is it Eden Park?
I'm assuming so, yeah.
I don't know if they were there or Harbour. But yeah, I think they get the job done there. I just think their forward pack is in for a big one this week and will dominate.
Blues.
Yeah.
It's a 10.5. I reckon Brumbies get within that. They'll compete, man. I reckon they'll be close.
Yeah, Brumbies have always been one that stick with the Blues
And
too.
they travel well in New Zealand. Like
But if they kick like they kicked against the Reds, they're gonna get ripped to shreds by Mark Talia. And
If Noah tries a drop goal this week, I am calling him and roasting him. Did you see that?
it went like straight off.
It was nowhere near.
Yeah. It was a crossfield kick.
yeah, I'll go Blues, but I'll go Brumbies plus a 10.5. Keep it close. Enough.
Try scorers?
So Tool's leading the comp right now, 7 tries. I'll go Tool and I'll go Caleb Clark for a try as well.
I'll go to Leah.
Yeah, we're in the simple one.
He scored
Give
first
me-
try so many times this year. That's worth a
Oh,
sprinkle.
bro. Him and Severese, when they get near the post and they're picking going, they're scoring tries.
Facts.
Give me Blues 1-12, Akita Ioane to score.
Ooh, I like it. That's good.
I'm going to try it.
The pick and drive?
Yeah.
You should do it this weekend.
I've been watching the tickers.
Yeah,
Footwork,
What
get
have
low.
you learnt?
He's got to be
I
40
can't
kilos
say it.
heavier.
Oh,
What,
sorry.
what if the West players
Yeah,
are
they
watching?
do this and they're big fans. They
He's
told
got to get 40 kilos heavier.
Yeah, fuck.
No.
No, you'll be right, mate.
Yeah.
All heart. All right, in our final game, I'm sick of these fucking shorter rounds too. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Western Force taking on the Crusaders over in Perth. $5.50 are the Force, $1.13 the Crusaders. It's just-
Fuck, this will be
which
a
is
good
kinda
game.
wild. The Lions 15.5. The big news: Curtly Beale in the 15 jersey. Michael Wells and Isaac Rodder returned finally off the bench for the Satyrs. A brand new front row, and Drummond gets to start at 9. Are the headlines?
Drummond, I think, will bring a bit of composure back to that Crusaders team, but also, I can't wait to see how Curtly Beale goes.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how he goes at 15.
Well, we spoke about it last week, but
I thought he was more looking at 10, 12.
he
He's
came
a natural
in for,
footballer, though, so,
Yeah.
like...
Yeah. Yeah. How do you reckon it'll be? What do you reckon? I've no idea what to expect.
Yeah, straight up, man.
I'm going to back the Satyrs here. The Force are at home, obviously, but I think it's time we see Levi Moa show back up. I saw glimpses of it last week, that he's finding his form. I hope this is a game where he breaks the comp, because people were talking about him coming to the Satyrs and being an all-black midfielder.
Yeah, well,
And
that's
he
what I
has
thought
not
would
showed
happen.
Yeah.
At all.
Last year when they signed him, I was like, this is bullshit. How do they just go from stack to more stack? Because he was a standout for Moana.
Well, he's played better with Moana than he has this year. For sure.
How do we think Curtly Beale's going to go with the game fitness? He's played 2 games for Randwick, but the jump from club rugby to super, I could only imagine,
Surely
is
the,
massive.
The
Like,
plan is not to play the full 80, though.
just the trainings I've done with the Chiefs and the Highlanders, I was fucking gassed.
Yeah.
But remember how long he has been at that level for. I'm pretty sure he would know how to
rugby
prepare.
for 18 months.
Yeah, but
He won't
think
play
he
full
would-
80, though, will he?
No, but
No, who's on the bench? You got
looking at that, Henry O'Donnell, Max Brewery.
oh, there you
probably
go.
come on at the
Fury's
back.
15. There you go.
I'm actually going to go Crusaders 13 plus here.
Oh, no.
Sevu Reece for 2.
Oh.
Man's been on fire recently.
Yeah.
I'm going to go the Force.
Yeah,
Let's go, Curtly.
Come on, give me these 2 points.
I'm
mate.
going to join you.
I've got points to lose, so I'm all right.
Yeah, I've got points to make up, a lot of them. Yeah,